like I should be spooky here. Ooh. Okay. Call of Cthulhu, for some reason, is one of the most popular literary horror series in existence. I personally find the books drier than dirt. But...
Wow!
Well, no, they really are. I guess they're scary if you can understand them. But the mythos is pretty popular. There's a lot of movies, and one of the most popular games in existence is Arkham Horror. Mm-hmm. And this is by the same designer, Richard Launius, but this is the dice version of Arkham Horror, I guess. Yeah. Most dice versions of games are some variation of Yahtzee. It seems that way. And this is probably...
close to that. But not exactly that.
Yes. Let's look at it, and then we'll tell you whether it's better than Arkham Horror or not.
There you go.
The game isn't complicated by any means, although it looks fairly complex, and I'm not going to go over all the rules anyway. But there's a clock in the middle of the table that each turn, whenever someone goes, you'll move it 15 minutes. It's really just, you only care about these 4 numbers, and you move it. And every time it strikes midnight, you're going to be drawing one of these cards that will give you something that happens and something that might happen in the future, etc. These are things that keep the game moving onward. You're going to be picking a bad guy that you're going to be fighting against. Aster, all these different Yig. Of course, then of course you have Cthulhu. Each of these people here have Doom tokens that if the Doom track completely fills up, then they will come and the investigators will have to fight them. Now, if you're sitting here saying, wait a minute, this sounds awfully like Arkham Horror, that's because, in essence, it has the same kind of same theme, where the investigators are going to do something and they have to get enough of these Elder tokens, or these to, when they get these by accomplishing different tasks, they have to get enough of these before the enemy comes forward, and if he does come forward, then they have to fight him and win. Although there's, just like in Arkham Horror, there is still the one guy that... Azathoth, when he shows up, well, you simply lose. Now, meanwhile, players will be taking different characters. Each of the characters, now in this game, characters are fairly similar. They have a certain amount of health points that they have, and a certain amount of brain power, that mind and hearts that you have, and if you lose all of them, then you're dead. But in this game, death is only temporary. When you die, you simply bring another character out. You will start with different items, and you have a special ability that you can use. The different items that you will be drawing during the course of the game are all fairly similar. There's different piles, and they usually give you access to different dice. Like this one gives you 1 red and 1 yellow die. These give you just 1 red. Other ones might give you a special ability or that you can use. But on a player's turn, what they're going to be doing is usually they'll be taking their player's token and moving it to one of these locations. You can see there's 6 locations laid out here. Or they can move back home. Usually you go home to heal or to spend different trophy points that you've gotten to do different things. But otherwise you're going to go and try to accomplish one of these goals. Let me show you a couple of these goals here. Now, on this one it shows an arrow pointing down. That means you need to accomplish these goals in order. And when there's no arrow, you can accomplish them in any order. And what you'll be doing is you'll take 6 green dice and roll them. You can add in the yellow and red dice, which are markedly better than these dice if you use up those item cards, but they have one-time usage. But then on my turn, I'm going to simply roll these dice and try to get one of the things on this card. For example, you can see on this one here, I need to get a 6 magnifying glass. So I look at my magnifying glasses that I've rolled, and I've only rolled 2 points, so that's no good. I also need to roll a scroll, and I need to roll this tentacles, or this terror symbol. So I've rolled both of those, so I'm going to take the terror symbol, and I place it on the card. Now, even though I rolled a scroll, I can only accomplish 1 goal at a time. So I place the terror on the cards, and then I can continue rolling. I have not yet failed. I've now rolled the scroll symbol. That's fine, but I still need to roll 6 worth of magnifying glasses. I roll, and I only get 2 points worth of magnifying glasses. So now I've failed the mission, but I haven't failed the mission completely yet. But since I've made a fail, I have to take one of the dice and set it aside. I'm also allowed to take 1 die and set it aside and keep it for a reroll, which I'm not going to do because these 1s are kind of worthless. I need to roll a couple 3s. Well, here I've done it poorly again. So I must take one of these dice and put it aside. Now, I do have to note, though, that I rolled a terror symbol, which usually doesn't matter. But if you fail and you roll a terror symbol on your roll, then if the card has terror, like this one here, it says lose 1 sanity. So every time I roll a terror symbol and I don't accomplish one of the goals, I will lose a sanity. But I did, even though I take a die and lose a die, I'm going to set this 3 magnifying glass aside. And now I'm going to roll this final die here, hoping I roll a 3 magnifying glass. I didn't. I lose a die. It's impossible for me now to accomplish my goal, so I failed the card. When you fail a card, usually you will lose different things. Like down here, you can see here, I'll lose 1 mind point and 1 health point. If I had accomplished a goal, I would have gotten a clue, and I would have got a weapon card, which would have been great. And also, I would have been able to keep this card, which is worth 1 trophy point. And you will be able to trade in 10 trophy points to get one of these Elder Signs, which, of course, is one of the ways to win the game. Sometimes different things will happen. Sometimes we will open the gates to special locations that will come out that give things. And some of these locations, you get Elder Signs for defeating them. Look, this one gives you 3 Elder Signs. That's great. But the things that you have to accomplish are very difficult. Other things that can happen is occasionally monsters will show up. Sometimes that's because of the person whose track you're fighting. If you put a token on it, a monster will. Sometimes it comes out as a result of a card. There you will just draw a monster randomly from a pile of tokens, and this is another task that you will place on a card. Now, some cards have a spot for monsters, so when you put it there, you put the monster on that card, and now you have to accomplish that task too. Other monsters, once you've used all those spots up, sometimes you just have to put a monster to replace one. But usually monsters, usually they don't help the situation at all. In fact, this one here, if you notice there's a little yellow lock thing, what that means is you put the yellow die on it, and until this monster is defeated, until that task is defeated, no one can use the yellow die. And even amongst the other missions that will come up, you can see this one locks the green die, this one locks the red die. And so there's all the different sorts of things. There's some flavor text on them, but for the most part, the game is about rolling dice and accomplishing those missions. Whether you pass or fail, you then pass your dice to the next person, and you keep going until you get to a certain number of Elder Signs, in which case you win, or until the bad guy breaks free and you fight him, and you'll roll dice and do different things to fight him, depending on which monster it is, and the first person to, if you defeat him, then everyone wins together. It's a purely cooperative game. All right. First of all, I like the box size.
Very good box size.
Fantasy Flight's make a lot of their boxes this size, and I like it. And I like almost all the games that come in this box size. I think you get a good value for your game.
Give me the box
here.
back.
Oh, sorry.
What's wrong with you?
I think you get a good value for your game. I like it. I think it might be too easy. It doesn't have to be.
No.
I mean, it certainly could be hard, but so far, I haven't had much trouble with it. I never felt like we were pressed doom-wise as I did in Arkham Horror. You think you're going to lose, I think, 30 seconds in the game?
Yeah, but how many players have you played it with?
Well, with 5 and with 6.
Right. I think if you might up the players, if you played with 8, I think it would be hard.
Actually, I was going to say the opposite.
The opposite,
if you
really?
dropped it, we'll play. Here's the deal, though. I will never play this with 8. It's not that it's a bad game with 8, but with 6, I was starting to think, when's my turn going to come around again?
Yeah,
with 8, I could sit there. At least you can roll the dice, and everyone can give you options, but they can't order you around, and even if they do, rolling the dice will change everything. I like rolling dice. The dice in this game are super high quality, and it doesn't feel like Yahtzee. You can tell that it kind of got that idea from Yahtzee, but it feels like Arkham Horror to some degree.
Well, in the game that I played, which was not the one that we played with Tom, that Tom played in, we actually had, the downtime was there, but it was active downtime, if I can say it that way, because you were talking about what other people should do, helping them with their turns. They were asking for advice and that type of thing. So you were still involved in the game. You were just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. You were still involved in the game, talking about the game, what would be the best bet, that type of thing. So the downtime for me in the game that we played was not bad downtime.
I guess I should say it's bad downtime, and turns are fairly quick.
Right.
I think they sucked a lot of the theme out that was in Arkham Horror. There was all these, you open the treasure, you open the cellar door and there's a man sitting there staring at you. That's not in here as much. It's more about the pictures. It's simplified. But the good thing is, this takes a fraction of the time Arkham Horror takes to play.
Right. And
actually, you play this before Arkham Horror is set up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could play a game of this while somebody else sets up Arkham Horror. That would be very true. But the idea, sucking out the theme is usually a bad thing for me. But with this one, and with this mythos, or whatever you want to say, and between this and Arkham Horror, I think sucking the theme out of Arkham Horror helped this game become better because, like you said, the theme was found in the cards, reading the cards and all that kind of thing. You detract a lot of time doing that. So this plays a lot faster, but it scratches the same itch. Maybe it's not a full-on, back scratching of the itch. Maybe it's just somebody's dull fingernail scratching. But
tentacle scratching.
Yeah, exactly. So it scratches the same itch, and it plays in less than half the time. So
you're saying throw out Arkham Horror and keep this?
I would.
Wow, I don't know if I
just
could do
because
that.
I have a hard time. I have a hard time getting a game the magnitude of Arkham Horror to the table. This one will hit the table.
I could get my
So
wife
much
to
more.
play this, and I would never get her to play Arkham Horror.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's like the I don't know, what would be a good Twilight Imperium 3 downsize? That's already there.
I don't know.
And this is a bad thing for me because I love Twilight Imperium 3.
Wow, Twilight Imperium, the dice game.
Right. So, see, the thing is, I don't know that I would... I'm pretty sure that people who love to play Arkham Horror and play it a lot would agree with my statement that this is a better game. And I'm okay with that because I don't think I would agree with somebody who said game X is better than Twilight Imperium 3 because it's shorter. You understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I like them both. If I was forced to keep one, that'd be tough because Arkham Horror, I have so much invested in it. There's like 600 expansions for it. You think I would?
Yes, you would.
I don't know. It would be tough.
If you had to choose, how many times have you played Arkham Horror in the last 2 years?
Well, twice probably.
Twice.
Maybe once.
How many times are you going to play this in 2 years?
Probably 3 or 4 or more
because it's so short.
It's so short.
You
and
would
simple.
keep this.
It's a tough one. Tough call. But I like it. So, try it out.
Well, hey.
Oh, tentacle. I'll give it 1 tentacle up.
1 tentacle? That's it? Come on. I'll give it 1.5.
Suction cups.
How many suction cups up is that?
I know we were talking about sucking thieves.
Oh, that's nasty. Okay, well, there you have it.